Good day, everyone, and on this week with Design With Me, we'll be making pattern boxes out of donuts. Now, I know we've already gone over this topic once before, but I think this will be a much better, more concise video for you viewers at home. So, let's take them to the next camera, Alex. Thanks, Alex. I'm really happy you brought us over here. Just kidding, guys. Thanks for joining me with my Design With Me. This is a continuation of last week. I'm walking you through almost the whole process of what I've done. We've left off, we've got all these different donuts that are designed, and now we're going to turn these into a nice pattern box. So I like to work where everything can be almost in one file. We'll take this. We know the pattern box needs to be an exact square. So what I've done is I've gone over here, I've selected the rectangle tool, and you can find that by using M or just clicking on this square and coming up with the rectangle tool. Clicking, and you want to make sure, remember whatever you put in you're going to have to use over and over again. So I'm going to do 200 pixels by 200. It needs to be a perfect square. Look at that beautiful, roll that beautiful square footage. So we've got that going on. Let's just pick a fun background. I've already got my color palette here. We'll just do a nice blue. And let's get some donuts on this thing. We're going to take these and we're going to shrink-a-dink them down a little, make them a little more 200 pixel friendly. Whoop. There we go. There we are. So I haven't grouped them all together, so what I'm going to do is quickly highlight each one, Control G, and that will group them together. So as I go to move them around, I'm not leaving sprinkles all over the place by accident, and grouping them treats them as though they're one object, and then you can always drill down later into those objects. So now we've got these great donuts. We need to come over to our great background, and here we go. So like I said, now they're grouped so they act as one object. There's not sprinkles being left around when I move things. And we're going to set up the left side first. So let's go ahead and send this to the back. Control Shift left bracket. We'll put that on the back farthest layer. Remember, you're working in layers. Layers are like pieces of planes of glass that you can put one in front of the other. And Control Shift left bracket just says put this all the way to the back and everything else will be on top of it, and you can work from there. So we've got this nice frosted chocolate donut. We're going to select it with the V or the selection tool, and I'm going to want to do some different sizes in this one. So we'll do that. Bring in over, let's say the strawberry vanilla. I'm going to have to get donuts after this. Sounds so tasty. And remember, what you're doing is, as you're making this box, this is the basic square, so think of it as a tile and a tile floor. You're making a tile. Everything inside this tile is what is going to be repeated. And so the reason why we're starting with the left side is we're going to take these two shapes and put them over to the right side, so when this tile lines up with itself over here, this part that overhangs will be over here. Same thing with top and bottom. So if I'm putting this chocolate donut really close to the top, that means that donut's going to exist right outside of here in the next tile. Probably the hardest part of designing is making this square, or at least designing patterns, is as you're laying this out, in your head, imagining 3 or 4 other copies floating around. So I think that, let's just, we don't need to overdo it. It's alright if they're a little bigger. I want this to be a little bigger pattern. So we've got that. We'll highlight these two, right click, transform, move. You can also use Control Shift M, which will open up the move dialog. And I highlighted everything that's hanging out on the left hand side. We're going to want a horizontal move of 200. And the way I got that number is that is how big this box was that we just made. We don't want any vertical movement. We want it straight across. And you can click preview, make sure you got a good snap going on. We're just going to hit copy. And that's what's really important, is that everything, because we did it exactly pixel by pixel, when we go to make this into a pattern, it's going to duplicate perfectly. We're not going to get any little lines or little breaks. That's exactly how this pattern's going to go and react. So now we've got that. Let's highlight these, move them over. I think this one's good. Now, anything that happens inside the box, you don't have to worry about moving it. It's totally safe. It's only anything that overhangs. So same kind of rule. If we have an overhang here, we're going to take this donut. We'll do it like that. And we'll right-click, transform, because it's the only thing that's hanging off the top. And we are going to move, and because it's a perfect square, we don't want any horizontal action this time. We want 200 vertical. Positive vertical will go down. If you use a negative number, it will move it up. So we're going to hit copy, and we've got that now, and we just need to put a donut in the middle. So let's go ahead and do this one, a chocolate donut with cream frosting. Let's make that a little bigger. Not too much bigger, it'll be like a focal point. And we'll do it like that. So now we've got left, right tilts, left, left tilts, left, right, and then even in horizontal, so it'll kind of be a nice, almost geometric pattern going on here. I don't know how that's going to look, if it's going to be great or not, so the easiest thing to do is let's make it a pattern and we'll tweak it from there. So to make this a pattern, we're going to want to move these over a little. So now that you've got everything laid out, and I kind of moved it around real quick, and because as long as everything, no new things pop up and down, so we'll do it right about there, we can adjust the box, kind of move it around a little, get how we want it, maybe move it up a touch. So we can do that as long as nothing new breaks any of the planes. And highlight the background, Control-C, Control-B. No fill on either of those, and what Control-C does is it copies that square. Control-B will place it directly behind the item you copied. Highlight everything and drag it over here into your menu. So I already made one, we'll delete that. But the trick, another thing you'll notice is if I try to add it into these color groups, they're already in existence, so you got to bring it up here and then just work from there. So these folders are already saved as their own thing. So it's just easier to drag it right into the group, not into a folder. Now we've got that. Let's see how it looks as a pattern. Take this, just make a big box and select this as your fill. And you can see we've got a white line, so I must have not selected everything when I was moving it around. Yep, there's that invisible background. So we want that to line up with the other box that's there because it's that invisible background tells the pattern where things are. So we're going to bring that up and we want it to be exact, and the best way to do that is highlight both, align them horizontal and align them vertical, and it will overlay them on top of each other. But it looks like they're actually two different shapes going on. So let's just delete the background. Try again. T, 200, 200. Got our box. Let's give it a nice light blue background. Take that, drag it over the donuts as long as they're not breaking any new planes. Everything position should be fine. Control-Shift left bracket, Control-C, Control-B. No color fill, highlight, drag it over here, get rid of the old one. Ta-da! So I think that is a super cool donut pattern we made. So now we need to make it into the correct size for an Erin Condren. So select the rectangle tool, click 1.5, and if you hit Shift and parentheses, it will automatically turn it into inches. So when I hit enter, 1.5 parentheses will make it 1.5 inches. So when I go down, it will automatically turn that into pixels for me. So I don't actually have to look up what 1.5 by 1.9 is. I can actually just type it right in, put it there, click OK, and it will make the box in inches. Now, manipulating the size of a pattern within a shape is super easy to do. We're going to right-click, transform, and we want to scale. And we don't want to transform the object. That means we want to adjust the outside box. We want to just transform the pattern, not the object. And what that means is the pattern itself, we can change the size now using the up and down arrows until we think, you know, that's I think that would be really cute right there. Hit OK. And we've got ourselves one box of donuts. And that's going to go along with this set. I'll do some more of these in different boxes. But that's it. That's a super quick overview again of how to do pattern boxes. You've got that down now. This is the second time I've showed you. It's super easy. Again, I think that took me no more than 10 minutes, and 5 of that was me trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. But that's it. It's super easy, guys. Take your designs, make some boxes out of them. Just goof around with the program. I've got in here some designs that I'll take someone else's design and I'll just see if I can design it myself. And every time you do that, every time you interact with this program, you're going to be learning tips and tricks, and it's going to start, it's like a paintbrush or a pencil. Everyone holds it differently, but you don't know until you've done enough writing how you're going to hold it. So when people say, oh, you got to find your style, it's just going to come to you. It does, but you've done it before. You can write your name, you have a way that you hold the pencil, and you didn't have to say, I chose to hold it this way. It just naturally happens from practice. That's all you need to do for Illustrator to be a designer, to get these things going. I've been doing this every day for a year, just goofing around, and I'm still learning all the time new tips and tricks. It's just something that, you know, you keep practicing at and you'll get better. So I'm super happy that you guys tuned in for this. Hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. It keeps it so we can keep doing these videos. The like button also is pretty cool. I like that. I would too if you should. Anyways, you should if you like this video. And leave some comments if you want me to design anything. If there's any questions you have. I added a light this video and the last video, so hopefully once we move, which will be very soon, I'll have better lighting all the time. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you guys next week.